Hey guys, welcome back to the Mermaid Mama. For those of you that have, is the first time here, oh my gosh, I can't talk. My name is Hannah and I do videos on living waste-free, veganism, minimalism, and conscious parenting and living in the Gold Coast. So today I thought I would do a video on the common questions that you get as a vegan, especially when you are transitioning. And I thought I would cover these. So some of them are health questions, some of them are to do with the environment, some of them are to do with the ethical questions around veganism. And I know that I've been vegan for 3 years. And I am a parent to a vegan child as well, which I find that I get a significant amount of questions about that, like how I make sure that he's healthy. And so I've just done a ton of research when it comes to these questions, and some of them require research and some of them just require, you know, your honest answers. But I just thought I would give you the answers that I give when people ask me these questions. So let's get started. So if you have any more questions about veganism, like especially ones that you get asked really regularly and you don't know how to answer them, please post below and hopefully I can help you out with an answer. So number one, so let's start with the main one. You'll probably know what this is, and this is, where do you get your protein from? I have definitely been asked this a number of times. I still get asked this question, and there are multiple answers. But first, the answer that I give people is that I get my protein from fruits and vegetables. So protein is in all fruits and vegetables. Also, from a scientific statistical point of view, the World Health Organization, a number of years ago, they did a significant amount of research into this, and they actually found that humans only need 2.5% of their daily calories from protein. So what they did though is that to make sure that people were getting enough, they doubled it. And so if you look at their if you look at the World Health Organization, if you look at their website, it will tell you that we need 5% of our daily calories from protein, but we actually only need 2.5%. The other thing with protein is that you literally do not need to worry about it. The only people that suffer from like protein deficiency are people that are basically starving, that they are living in countries where they do not have access to food and their bodies are malnourished, or people that suffer from eating disorders and their bodies are malnourished. So basically, if you have a protein deficiency, is because you are quite literally not getting enough calories in. So that's the only time that you need to worry about that. Most people actually get too much protein, which is not good for your body. I'm looking down because I've got the questions written in here so that I stay on track. Alright, so the next question, calcium. How do you know that you're getting enough calcium? Isn't the only place that we get calcium from is dairy? And the simple answer to that is no. So when it comes to dairy, consuming dairy products actually leaches calcium off the bones, and that's why the countries in the world that have the highest dairy consumption also have the highest rates of osteoporosis. One of those countries is New Zealand, where I'm from, where the dairy industry is huge and people consume a lot of dairy there, and so that shows. And so because of that, the numbers of people that suffer with osteoporosis is particularly high. My dad is visiting from New Zealand, so he and Romeo are playing inside while I film this video. The other thing with calcium, so basically if you want really good calcium, really high calcium in your diet, do not consume dairy. There are so many places that you can get calcium. One of them is broccoli, tofu is another. With any nutrient like that, just Google it and see what comes up, and there are plenty of charts online that will give you lists of all the food that has the particular nutrient that you're after. And really I don't actually worry about, you know, oh, I'm getting this much calcium, this much iron every day. I eat a well-rounded diet of whole plant foods most of the time, and I tend to lean towards a very alkaline diet as well, which serves my body best. When your body is in a mostly alkaline state, you're much less likely to get plagued with illnesses and disease, because disease can't exist in an alkaline environment. So I have been tested for calcium, my calcium levels, along with other blood tests that I have had done. Romeo also got tested when he was about 2.5. Both of us had calcium above average, and neither of us take supplements, so there you go. Iron. Now, when it comes to iron, me personally, I used to suffer from terribly low iron, especially in my late teens and in my 20s as well, when I wasn't vegan and I was eating a lot of dairy products, a lot of animal products in general. And I had really low iron, and for a significant amount of that time I was taking supplements, iron supplements. And when I was pregnant with Romeo, when I unfortunately wasn't vegan, I had really low iron and I had to take iron tablets then as well. So since I've been vegan, I've been tested a number of times through blood tests, and I have always had really, really wonderful iron levels, and I haven't been taking supplements for many years now. So it just goes to show that being low in iron is really nothing to do with animal products in your diet, and it's certainly not something you need to worry about. For iron, if it's something that if you are low in iron, then and you feel like taking a supplement is the best thing for you to do, then absolutely do that. I have nothing against supplements, but if you can, it's always best to get what you need from food. That's what I tend to do. And so with iron, if you want to have lots of iron in your diet, then go for the leafy greens, because that's where the really iron-rich foods are. The subject of B12, and I get asked about this quite a lot. So B12. B12 is so a lot of people actually think that B12 is, we can only get it from animal products and that animals produce it. But actually, B12 is found in the soil. Unfortunately, the soil today is depleted by, you know, herbicides, pesticides, and also runoff from animal agriculture. So the soils, even in organic farms today, are not the ideal soil that we really, really want to grow our fruits and vegetables in. So that's where we normally would get it from, is that it comes from the ground and we get it on our food. And you possibly can do this in some instances, and I was actually tested for my B12 levels, and so was Romeo, and they were fine, but we have always taken a supplement because sometimes it can stay in your system for quite a few months and show that you have it, but then after those few months it will disappear, and so I just don't take the risk. I take a supplement for it. So it's actually not a vegan problem, it's a human problem. The only reason that animals have B12 in their bodies is because they are injected with B12. So animals in the animal agriculture industry that are consumed by humans are injected with B12. So that's the only reason that you might get it from animals. But whether you are vegan or not, I would personally recommend that you take a B12 supplement or get tested. You can get injections to get B12, or you can take, like I take a spray, and that's what I give Romeo as well. So that's B12. Okay, so now on to some ethical issues that get raised. So you might hear but cavemen ate meat. That's how we, that's how we originated. This is our history as mankind. We're at the top of the food chain. The whole cavemen argument, and I have definitely been told this a number of times. And my simple answer to that is that when we were hunter-gatherers, when we moved away from the tropics where we originated from the tropics, where we were surrounded by an abundance of fruit, we had to kill animals in order to survive. The hunter-gatherer lifestyle was how we survived then. now we don't have to do it for survival. And the way that animals are slaughtered now is a very, very long way away from the way that they were killed then, which was that it was fair game. You know, the hunter had to actually chase the animal and kill them in order to eat them. The way that animals are bred now for consumption, and they're killed, around about 60 billion animals are slaughtered every year for consumption for humans. And it's very unnatural, and we simply don't need to do it. We don't need to do it anymore. So I think we need to let go of that concept as well. There's also, if you kind of want to make light of it, if someone's really hammering you about it, you can always kind of say, oh well, in that case, are you willing to actually let go of your iPhone and your laptop and your car and go and live in a cave? Because if we're going to pick one area of the caveman lifestyle and say, this is why I'm eating like that, then why aren't you doing the rest? Why aren't you living living in a cave with, no technology and making fires yourself and hunting for your own food? And that kind of makes light of it a bit, and that will probably get someone off your back if someone's really, really going on about it. Okay. So the other thing is, and I have had many people say this to me, is the whole argument of, but you kill ants, which, if you haven't heard that before, it's basically where people are saying, well, you can't cause zero harm, so why bother at all? You are going to stand on an ant eventually at some point, or you might kill a fly, or you might accidentally run a possum over while you're driving. And I think when people say this to me, what I tend to say to them is that you are confusing veganism with perfectionism, and they are not the same thing. The idea that you shouldn't make an effort to reduce the harm that you're contributing to because you can't do it perfectly 100% it's really a silly idea when you really think about it. And well, you don't even need to think about it that much. It's a silly concept. And I think that the people that are saying this, I have found, for me personally anyway, that they are kind of grasping at things because they want to be able to justify their lifestyle and they don't want to make any changes. And so they're kind of grabbing at things to try and justify the fact that they know that they are contributing to harm. And so from my point of view, it's not about causing zero harm because that's just not possible. But I certainly want to do my absolute best to reduce the amount of suffering that I cause. And I know that by consuming animal products, I am not only contributing directly to enormous amounts of animal suffering and death, but I'm also saying I want more of that, because what we do as consumers, we are voting for, there is a quote that says it better than I'm going to say it, but basically the way that we spend as consumers is we are voting for the type of world that we want. So when we go and buy dairy products or meat, we are saying I want more of that in the world, and that equates to more suffering. So I hope that answered that question. The other argument that comes up is that farmed animals would overpopulate the planet and take over if we didn't farm them. This comes up less often, but it's an argument that I see quite a lot online. And I think people genuinely do believe this. This is a problem. And it's of course it's not a problem because they don't just randomly multiply in really, really giant numbers. The animals that are exploited by humans are specifically bred for that purpose. They are bred for that purpose. They are forcibly impregnated, and they are bred by the billions for our consumption. So basically, when the consumption of animal products goes down, less animals are bred and farmed, and so eventually their numbers will just drop and drop and drop and drop. The other thing that I get, which is kind of a general query, is do I need to be concerned or worried about how many nutrients I am getting or my child is getting? A lot of people have this concern over whether their children, like especially I tend to get this with people that are wanting to or are transitioning their children or themselves from an omnivorous diet to a vegan diet. And the short answer to this is no, you don't need to worry about getting specific nutrients. The best way to get a range of cover all the nutrients that you need is to eat a whole foods plant-based diet and eat until you are full, and take the supplements for, like, I probably would recommend taking a B12 supplement. You may not need it, you might want to get tested, or you might just want to take the supplement just to be safe. The other supplement that I personally take, and I give this to Ro as well, is zinc. That was recommended to me by a naturopath last year, and I've noticed enormous food health benefits since taking that. So that's something else that I take. I'm not recommending that you do that, you may not need it, but what you will find over time is that you will, once your body's transitioned over, you will start to be able to figure out whether you need supplements or not, and you may not need any. But if you have a diet that's, if you have a good range of things, like I tend to have lots of fruit, I also have a lot of greens, like leafy greens, and I will have, a few nuts and seeds as well, and I just tend to get a good range. I really love lentils. They're just one of my favorite things to eat. I love them. And I eat a tiny bit of like junk food as well. So this is just a wide range of nutrients that I'm getting from food, and I will gravitate towards things that I desire. I don't eat things that I don't want to eat. And so I eat what tastes good to me. Hey buddy, do you want to come and join me? Wow, that looks so good. Do you want to say hi? Okay, do you want to come into the video and say hi, buddy?
Mm-hmm. Hi.
We're going to go out soon, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. And Granddaddy's going to get a mechanical dark green pencil for me to keep.
You're so lucky, aren't you? You want to go inside? The other thing with the nutrients is that if you're a little bit concerned in any way, or you just really feel like you have no idea what you're doing, which I certainly felt like that when I was transitioning to a whole foods vegan diet. I'd already been vegan quite a while, but what I found to be really helpful is to go online to something like Cronometer.com. There's a few other ones. They're all free, and you basically just type in everything that you eat every day, and it will literally tell you what percentage of the nutrients and vitamins that you're getting that you are consuming every day. And so it will tell you whether you're getting enough of certain nutrients or not, and it's really, really wonderful. I found it so helpful. And I found that most of the time I was getting, about like 80 to 90% of my nutrients, and I was able to up the things that I wasn't getting enough of. And if there's something that you're consistently not getting enough of, well, then you can take a supplement for that, or go to someone like, a naturopath, or if you've got a really good doctor, go to them and talk to them about whether you can take a supplement or whether there's something in food form that you can take. So that's the answer for that one. I was going to cover free range, because that's something that comes up a lot, but I feel like I need to do a separate video on this, because this is just such a big topic. It's something I feel very, very passionately about, and it's definitely something that comes up a lot as well. So I will cover that in a video really, really soon, because I feel like it needs its own little video. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you found that informative and helpful, but please, if you have any other questions about this subject, post below. Let me know if there's any other video ideas that you would like to see on this topic. And yeah, Thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you all.